I get to my office and I'm thinking, what am I doing? I just threw it. I just threw everything into my office.
Yeah.
Okay.
Slid, and the roller caught me here and crushed me.
And you know what % chance they gave you to live?
Well, they told me the odds were 75% I would.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Tara, a farmer from Northern California. This channel is mainly about farming, and sometimes it's not. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're still going to kind of talk about farming. On March 10th, 2012, my dad was crushed by a piece of farm equipment. I make little comments and stuff like that in other videos that kind of refer back to it. In videos I've pointed out that how he's running, and I talk about his feet being numb and things like that. I've also talked about it in my Mental Health Monday videos. But since it's the anniversary of the accident, I thought I would have my mom and dad tell you about it themselves. So let's go.
What do you want to know?
So this is my dad. As you can see, is super excited to be on camera. So the other day in a video, I mentioned that my dad was in an accident, and then everyone started asking about it.
They did.
Yeah, they did. And tomorrow, which is March 10th, is the 8-year anniversary of his accident. So we're gonna do a little walkthrough of what happened, okay?
Whatever.
And we're gonna interview Mom too, so people can see how she felt about it. Okay, so first let's just walk over to the thing so they can see what it is. And then we'll tell the story. Do you remember exactly how the morning went?
I guess.
Or do you have like bits and pieces? It happened really early. So was it the first thing you were doing in the morning?
Probably. Moving equipment.
So I wasn't even at the farm yet. I was in Chico at college. Didn't really even think I wanted to be a farmer, but I had actually just changed my major to ag business. Do you remember me calling you to tell you that I was changing to ag business? Okay, so you were moving a piece of equipment out to the field, a roller.
A roller.
And you were using something like this. This isn't the exact one, but this is called, we call it a carry-all.
Tool carrier.
A tool carrier. I'll show you guys a roller later, but if you've seen some of my videos, it's a flat roller, and we had it behind the chisel this week. So explain what you did, Dad.
Well, the one I had handles on the side. So this one has hydraulics on the back, okay, with gears. You start it up, and all these chains raise or lower your piece.
So let me just show it really quick. So this one has an engine back here, and this is how it should be. It's safe. So you just stand back here and you lift these, and that lifts the implement up and down. So this is not the one that was part of the accident. So the one you were saying, it had ratchets up on the top.
So the pipes went across, and it had ratchets. Well, each ratchet ran 2 chains going across.
Okay.
I let the piece of equipment down.
So the roller was up. He was out in the field
by myself
on soft ground,
yeah,
by himself, a huge flat roller. He was letting it down.
When the roller hit the ground, I went to let the tongue down, the last chain, so I was on the side, and the roller shifted, and this thing fell over and fell on my back.
And did you step up on the tongue? One time you told me,
well,
did you?
I think I might have stepped on the tongue to reach the ratchet.
And so the whole thing shifted and
laid on.
It is kind of interesting. So you must have somehow been kind of starting to turn around.
No, it went down this behind me like this.
But oh, you were face up. But
yeah, so this part went down my back.
Oh,
this here,
okay.
Down my back.
Okay.
Slid, and the roller caught me here and crushed me.
like a sandwich?
Yep, this knee.
I never even knew that. I think I always pictured you just like face down.
The roller caught me here, and that's what broke my leg. And then it took my back and this knee was right there.
Wow.
And so the carry-all was right here, and the roller took my leg and smashed me.
Okay.
Broke my leg right here, folded it back.
Yep.
Broke my spine here.
Yes.
crushed all these ribs, collapsed this lung, and tore my aorta, which did not break.
The inner. The inner layer of the aorta. Okay. This is my beautiful mom, Mommy Beaver. You may have seen her in the World Ag Expo video. Okay, Mom, so how did you first get the news of Dad's accident?
So I work at the library. It was a Saturday morning and we weren't open yet. And when I go to work on Saturday mornings, I bring everything out of my office, cover up my desk with it, and work really a lot until we open. And the phone rang, and it was Aaron. And he said, I'm hurt real bad. And I was just right away like, oh my God, where are you? And he says, I'm out in Buddy's field. And I said, what happened? And he said, I screwed up. I'm hurt real bad. The ambulance is coming. So I was like, okay, I'm on my way. Hung up the phone, and I called another library to say, I've got to go. My husband was in an accident. And I looked at my desk. I know my brain just wasn't working right. I looked at my desk and had all this books and papers and crafts projects. Gathered it all up because I knew somebody was coming from the other library. I gathered it all up. I go running back to my office. I get to my office and I'm thinking, what am I doing? I just threw it. I just threw everything into my office. And then I ran out, locked the door. I knew where he was because I'd been out in that field before. And I'd come around, and as I was driving down the levee road, I could see the fire truck out there with the lights going and the tractor. And so I came down the road, and I just didn't know what I was going to find when I came around the tractor. I thought maybe he'd been run over by the tractor. That's what I thought.
I remember that now, you saying that, that you thought someone maybe ran him over.
That's what I thought. He had been run over. And Jose, who's the one that helped him, he rushed up to me and said, he's going to be okay. He's going to be okay. And I was bawling. And I came around the tractor, and there was no blood whatsoever. No blood. He was just laying there. So
was he face down when you got there, or face up?
Just laying there. And I got down by his head, and I said, I'm here. And he just kept saying, I screwed up. And then the helicopter came in, and they started cutting off his pants and everything, because they wanted to fix his leg. And somebody had his pants or something. It's so funny because he's laying there, and then he says,
did he lift up his hand?
I came down, and he says, get my wallet. Okay, I'll get your wallet. Anyway, and the helicopter pilot told me it takes him 8 minutes to get to the hospital. He said it's going to take you 45 minutes to get to the hospital. Take your time. Take the 45 minutes. I want you to be the next one in an accident.
That was nice of them.
Lifted him up, and I remember that's probably the only time I heard him kind of groan. Because they lifted him up, put him in the helicopter, and off it went.
So that was the first moments. Okay. So you don't have to feel like it's just you. Okay. So did you dig your phone out of your pocket?
Well, that's what I think I did, because I was there for probably at least 20 minutes by myself before my guy found.
So Jose found him. And I think Jose's kind of said, like, he felt like you were taking a long time, so he thought...
No, he was coming to that field.
He was coming to you.
Right, to do that. That's why I was moving the equipment, so he could finish where he was at and start the next field.
And when Jose got there, had you already called Mom? No. I
was on the phone with 911, but I couldn't hardly even talk.
So you called 911 before Jose got there. And then I remember there was a story that, like, the ambulance was searching for you. And was it Dave Robinson or some firefighter was like, no, you just need to get a helicopter out there or something?
Joey Sanchez, the chief, we have a volunteer fire department.
Yeah, 100% volunteer fire department, and the ambulance was looking for him and couldn't find him.
So I called the fire chief.
And he called the helicopter?
Yeah, well, I told him I was hurt real bad, and I knew I needed a helicopter.
So Dad's calling the shots.
Well, luckily I got the right guy, our chief, and he believed me.
Yeah. And he's retired now?
No.
Or no, he still does it?
He's still here.
Okay. Okay, so Jose gets there.
And he pulled, so the front of the carrier was on my pickup.
Okay.
And he got a chain with one of these tractors and a disc.
One of the big tractors.
And pulled the back off of me and held it. off of.
And didn't afterwards we find out that might have not been a good idea? Because didn't they say if
Well,
something...
I could have bled maybe or something, but
Yeah.
there was no choice. It was that or die.
Yeah. Oh, Dad. Is the roller over there?
Yeah.
But that's not the one, right?
No, it's actually bigger and heavier. The
Yeah.
one that fell. Well,
The one that has the wings on it,
yeah,
right?
but I mean that's all.
We could go show it. Okay, let's walk over there and you can keep telling your story while we walk.
What's to tell?
There's a lot more. Okay, so then Mom arrives. He's life flighted. Call Grandma, Grandpa, call everyone in the family. You were already in surgery when I got there. What do you remember about your first week in the hospital? Anything?
Well, I remember
Everything?
them wheeling me down the hallway.
You remember him wheeling you down the hallway, like in your very first surgery, and Mom and Grandma and Grandpa running next to you?
I don't remember if Grandma and Grandpa.
Mom said Grandma and Grandpa were there,
Oh.
running. She said it was like a movie.
Yeah.
And you were in ICU for 7 or 8 days?
Well, I would have said 9, but whatever, maybe 7 or 8.
7, 8, 9. ICU, which that's like what I picture, is like you being in the bed and you were very swollen. I feel like your face and everything, you know, was just swollen. And they only allowed one person to sleep in the hospital. So my mom would like have like the little hospital bed, and then I would sleep in between the wall and her chair bed, so I could stay too. Do you remember that? Kind of. Okay, so after a week in ICU, were you in like a normal room at all, or after that did you go straight to...
I spent 13 days up in the hospital there.
Okay, so 13 days at the hospital, and then you went to like the physical therapy place for a month?
Well, it was 18 days.
18 days.
But it
okay,
was
so
a
like
full hospital also.
full hospital. So this is what fell on him, but a bigger and heavier one that actually has like these extra wings on the side where you can attach two other ones. And this is the tongue that he was talking about, because that's what you were letting. So the roller was on the ground already?
Yeah.
Or close to the ground?
It was on the ground.
And then when you let the tongue down, that's when it shifted. And this landed on your leg, you said?
The frame caught me or something.
The frame. I always tell people it's like a farm-sized rolling pin.
Yeah.
You have no bad feelings towards it?
No. I wish I wouldn't have sold carry-on.
He wishes he wouldn't have sold the carry-all, because yeah, what did you want to do with it?
Make a swing set out.
He wanted to make a swing set out of the carry-all that almost killed him for his future grandchildren. That sounds very...
Now I can't find it anymore.
He sold it, or you gave it to someone to sell,
Yeah.
and he can't find it.
Maybe you can put a picture out there. Maybe somebody will find it.
Maybe. It could happen. Never know with the internet. Okay, so...
So put that out there that I want.
Okay, I'm gonna put a picture out. If you find this carry-all that came from California, let us know. It's gray, right?
Yeah, it was.
Did you call me or... Well, you called me first because we called Ashley together.
Oh, yeah.
So when did you call me? You were already at the hospital, you think?
No, I must have called you from the car, too.
Driving. And then my sister was living in Australia at the time.
Right.
So when we were at the hospital, I think we like FaceTimed her sitting in the emergency room.
The time is so wonky from
there's a
Australia.
huge time difference.
So I don't remember what time it was when we called her, but she didn't answer. So finally left a message. It's an emergency. You have to call back.
I can't. I was 2.5 hours away and it felt terrible.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine being on like the other side of the world. Okay, so then you got to the emergency room.
Yeah.
This was the big thing that I feel like looking back for me when I remember this story. It was like a movie and like you can describe it, but I wasn't there for that.
Yeah. So I get to first of all, I didn't even know where the hospital was.
Yeah, we had never been to that
had
hospital.
Been there. I knew kind of what road it was on. I stopped at the first hospital. It was a whole different hospital, and I drove around the parking lot. There was a guard there, and I said, "Is this South Sac?" And he said, "No, it's farther down." So we headed farther down. Didn't know where the emergency room was. So then I get in the emergency room, and Grandma and Grandpa were following me. So they had their own car. I had my car. I hopped out of the car. Grandpa got in my car and said, "I'll park the car, and you go in." So I get in there and I go up to the desk and I said, my husband just came in on a helicopter and I don't know where he's at. I gave him my name and she, honestly, her face, if I can do it, you have to come into this other room. You have to come into this other room.
Like super calm.
Oh
like,
my,
didn't
no,
even care.
like
Angry?
It's bad.
Oh, it's bad.
It's bad.
Okay.
You need to come into this other room.
Okay.
And I was just instantly, my heart just was like, he's dead. He's dead.
You thought he was dead?
I thought he was dead because why would they have you go into another room? And I said,
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah. So I said, his parents are right behind me parking the car. And they said, okay, we'll have them come in the other room too. And honestly, they didn't say anything. So I just thought for sure
he died.
He died in the helicopter. So we're in the other room, the three of us waiting, and a nurse comes and says, he's gonna come down the hallway. He's on a gurney. You're gonna be allowed to see him. And I think I might have said it. Oh my God, I thought he was dead. No, he's going into surgery. They're taking him right into surgery. You're gonna get to walk along the gurney. You are not to stop the gurney for anything. We will let you walk along the gurney and you can let him know you're here. So
and that's what you said was like a movie, right?
like they do in the movies. So here we're standing there in the hallway. Here he comes. We're running. I'm here, honey. I'm here. Your parents are here. We're here. Yes, and it was just like he's laying there looking up.
So that's crazy because the helicopter said it took him 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And it took you 50.
Yeah.
And he wasn't in surgery by the time you got there.
He was not in surgery. He was, maybe he had come into
But they were like ready to go.
Yeah. I bet he came into the emergency room and I don't know if it's called triage or what it is, where they check him out and
they're
decide
like, okay,
he's got to go to surgery, prep the surgery. I'm sure there's a little bit to it.
Oh, yeah.
And then that's when we got there. And
Grandma and Grandpa were running with you?
Yeah, we're all running. Just running alongside, telling him, we're here. So he came out of the surgery, or maybe it was late that night. I don't remember, but he came out of surgery, the initial surgery, where they said, oh, it's this.
Yeah.
And the head surgeon lady or emergency room doctor said, I think I saw some shadow in
the aorta.
But I'm not positive. I want to explore some more and do whatever tests they do to check for that. And
I was told I may never walk. Well, you don't want to tell the second day in the hospital what they told me?
Okay. So, the second day in the hospital, one of the doctors saw a shadow, which ended up being the tear in the aorta. And they took Dad into surgery. And you know what % chance they gave you to live?
Well, they told me the odds were 75%. I wouldn't.
75% he wouldn't make it through the surgery. So, apparently he's a lucky guy. Maybe you should get into gambling, Dad.
I don't think so.
That was your lifelong gamble, huh?
Yeah.
That was it.
And then after 30 days in the hospital, they told me I may never walk again.
Okay, so that's what I was going to get to next. So he did... Well, that's what I was going to get to next, yeah. So, I've never really showed your guys' porch, but my parents have like a porch with stairs. Their neighbor, Eric, and my dad's lifelong friend, Steve Esperson, built a ramp because my dad came home in a wheelchair. And they told you were never going to walk again. So that's the other day when I was like, look at him run. So he has a little limp that you probably can't even tell in video.
Okay, are you done yet?
No, this is such a good story. Let's just keep walking.
Now?
We can just go sit. Where do you want to go?
I gotta put my pickup away.
Your pickup away. Okay, we can walk towards the pickup. Okay, so they told him he was going to come home in a wheelchair. How long do you think it took? I can remember I was in college and Mom sending me a video and your little toes were just barely moving.
Yeah.
Just barely.
2 weeks after I got home.
Two-
One moved.
2 weeks after you got home, one little toe moved. And then how long do you think before you were walking? Do you remember?
I might have been on crutches by June.
Here, this is a good spot.
You'll have
Great lighting.
You'll have to look at that book.
Pictures. And you had a lot of nerve damage.
Still do.
Still do. But do you feel like it's as bad as it was in the beginning, like the nerve pain or whatever it is?
Pain.
Or the numbness or whatever? Like, do you feel like it's the same?
Yeah,
or that it's
hold
ever
on.
gotten better?
No.
It's the same.
But it's not pain.
It's not pain. It's like a numb, like the numb, tingly feeling.
Yeah.
There you have it. So now if I ever complain that I'm tired or my body hurts or whatever, he's just like, wonder what that feels like. There you have it. I just thought I would tell you guys a little bit of my perspective as well. I was in college at the time when I got the call, and I was 2.5 hours away. I remember my mom calling me, and I ignored her phone call because I was actually at a volunteer thing on a Saturday morning. And as soon as I ignored her call, she texted me and said it's an emergency. And the first thing in my mind was that my dog died. So I called her back and she said, your dad's been in an accident. You need to come home right now. The whole drive down to the hospital, I thought my dad had been in a car accident. And then when I got there, I found out that a piece of farm equipment had fallen over on him. And he's just made the most miraculous recovery. And a few years later, I moved back to start farming with him, and he's doing amazing. He's walking, he's farming. He's got a little limp, but if you didn't know, you wouldn't know. That's for sure.